You close your laptop. You turn off the lamp. You pull the covers up and take a slow breath. And then, without warning, your brain hands you a memory you did not ask for. A conversation from this morning, from last Thursday, maybe from a dinner party 3 weeks ago. And suddenly you are not in your bedroom anymore. You are back in that moment, rerunning every word, every pause, every expression on their face. Your body wants sleep. Your brain has other plans. This is not insomnia. This is not anxiety, at least not in the way most people think. There is a very specific psychological mechanism driving this. And once you see it clearly, the whole thing starts to make a completely different kind of sense. In the next few minutes, you are going to understand exactly why your brain chooses the moments before sleep to rewind specific conversations, why it edits them, why it tests different endings, and why the people this happens to most intensely are rarely the people you would expect. This is not a flaw. It is a feature. But that does not make it any less exhausting. And by the end of this, you will know what is actually happening inside your mind every single night. Here is something most people never think about. Your brain is not quieter at night. It is actually louder. During the day, you are moving, responding to emails, making decisions, navigating conversations in real time. Your brain is pointed outward, focused entirely on what is happening in front of you. But the moment that external noise disappears, the moment the screen goes dark and the room goes still, your brain does not power down. It pivots. It turns its full attention inward. Neuroscientists have a name for this: the default mode network, a connected system of brain regions that activates specifically when you stop engaging with the outside world. Think of it less like a shutdown and more like a shift change. The day crew clocks out. The night crew walks in. And the night crew's entire job is processing what the day crew did not have time to deal with. And at the top of that processing list, unresolved social experiences, conversations with loose ends, moments that did not quite settle the way you hoped. But here is the thing most people ask next. Why that conversation? Out of everything that happened today, why does your brain zero in on that specific exchange? The answer goes back to a psychological principle discovered decades ago by a researcher named Bluma Zygarnik. She noticed something strange while observing waiters in a cafe. They could remember every detail of an order they were still serving. But the moment the bill was paid and the table cleared, the information was essentially gone. The brain, she found, holds unfinished things in active memory. Completed things get filed away. Unresolved things stay open, running quietly in the background, demanding attention. The conversation you keep rewinding before sleep is not there by accident. It is there because something in it never fully closed. An expression you could not quite read. A sentence that landed differently than you intended. A moment where you felt the ground shift slightly beneath you. And you were not sure why. Your brain flagged it, kept the file open. And now, in the first genuine silence of your day, it is finally pulling that file up. Now, go one level deeper, because this is where it gets genuinely interesting. There is a part of your brain called the amygdala. It is ancient. It is fast. And its entire purpose is to detect threat and keep you safe. The amygdala does not differentiate between a physical danger and a social one. Register in the same emotional neighborhood. Because, for most of human history, being rejected by your social group was not just uncomfortable. It was genuinely dangerous. So when a conversation left you feeling misread, dismissed, or uncertain about where you stand with someone, the amygdala took note. It does not want you walking into a situation like that again unprepared. So it runs simulations. It replays the scene. It tries out different responses. It pressure tests what you should do if it happens again. It is not punishing you. It is rehearsing for you. That mental rewrite you keep doing, where you imagine the perfect comeback, the better explanation, the version of yourself who said exactly the right thing. That is your brain building a response strategy, updating its social software. You were not overthinking. You were being prepared. Stop for just a second. Think about the last conversation you rewound before sleep? Was there a moment, even a small one, where you felt unseen or worried about how you came across? There almost certainly was. That feeling is not background noise. That feeling is the trigger. Research in social psychology consistently shows that this pattern, this nightly mental replay, is far more intense in people with high social and emotional awareness. People who naturally read a room. People who notice the small shifts in someone's tone. Good. In other words, the people whose minds work hardest before sleep are often the people who are most thoughtful, most perceptive, most invested in their relationships. There is something quietly worth sitting with in that. The same mind that makes someone a careful friend, a considerate partner, a perceptive colleague. That same mind is the one running conversation simulations at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Caring and rewinding have always been part of the same package. So let us bring this all together. Why can you not stop rewinding conversations in your head before sleep? 3 systems are running simultaneously. Your default mode network is doing what it was built to do, processing unresolved social and emotional experiences. The moment the world goes quiet, your zygarnic response is keeping incomplete loops active, because your brain is wired to finish what feels unfinished. And your amygdala is running protective simulations, making sure you are better equipped if a similar moment comes again. None of this is random. None of this is weakness. It is a finely tuned system doing exactly what it was designed to do. In the only window of silence it gets all day, the conversations that come back before sleep are not random noise. They are the ones your brain decided were worth returning to, worth examining, worth understanding more fully. And that says something about you, not as a problem to solve, but as a person who takes their connections seriously enough to think about them even when no one is watching. A brain that rewinds is a brain that gives a damn. And those 2 things have always gone together. If this gave you a new way to understand what happens in your head before sleep, share it with someone who does the same thing, because most people dealing with this have never heard it explained this way. And sometimes just knowing the why makes it easier to breathe through. If you want to go deeper into how your brain processes emotion, social connection, and the way your psychology shapes your everyday experience, subscribe. That is exactly what this channel is built around. And if you want to watch something directly related to this, the next video is right there. It covers something that quietly connects to everything we just talked about. I think you will want to see it. Take care of that brain. It is working harder than you realize.